So we're here today at the opening ceremonies of the Arizona Fire School with Captain John Osich and Firefighter Julian Lucas. Julian just got the Firefighter of the Year award for 2014 for very good fire rescue, and there was only 3 members on the crew that night as you were arriving. Is that true, John?
That's correct.
Did that when you came up on scene, was the fire apparent at the apartment complex?
Yeah, fire was apparent coming out the second story, out the Arcadia door, going up to the 3rd floor. Looked like it could have possibly been extending up there.
And Julie, could you see the fire too from your position?
You know what, to be honest, the style of truck we were in, it was difficult to see the fire, so I wasn't as aware of what was going on until we got really close to it.
Gotcha. So what was going through your mind when you were rolling up?
As we're rolling up, came up to an intersection and we could see the fire. I knew there was a working fire as we were responding, and as we pulled up, just started thinking about my tactical priorities and where I wanted to send crews and where I expected the fire to go. And
did you hit a hydrant on the way in, or were you going to just do your initial attack?
With just 3 guys, since one guy was off, we just went ahead and had an initial attack and had another truck lay into us.
So you got off the rig, and at that point you probably saw the heavy smoke.
Right.
And was your adrenaline pumping a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And it was excitement and, just adrenaline, like you said, to see that amount of fire. So,
was the actual apartment that was on fire apparent to you at that time, or was it obscured?
No, it was apparent which apartment it was.
Right. Okay.
It was quite obvious with the flames coming out of the Arcadia door.
Oh, okay. So it was open. But you had to knock down some flames on that landing as you were coming in?
Right. There was some carpeting that is part of that apartment complex that they have on the landing, so that was actually on fire.
Oh.
So I had to knock that down just to get to the front door where the major amount of fire was pouring out of the front door.
So when you got in there, was that front room fully involved?
It was pretty much all fire. So
how long did it take you to knock that down?
it was probably about maybe a minute and a half for the bulk of the fire. It's fairly quick.
And was anybody there to back you up yet at that point?
There was guys starting to come up.
Come up?
Yeah. They were helping me hump hose and get moving, and almost immediately after the fire got knocked down, I believe is when John came up. He was assigning companies, and then he met up with me once he got done with that.
You were a busy man at that moment.
We both were.
Yeah. When you got in past the main room, were you in a mindset of still knocking down the fire, or were you thinking search and rescue?
At this point, it becomes more of a search. The bulk of the fire was knocked down, and you start heading towards the bedrooms, and you have to try and assume that there's people in there. So when we came in and actually found people, it was very surprising, but still you have to always look at it from that point of view that there may be people trapped.
In the first, how many bedrooms were there?
2 bedrooms.
2 bedrooms?
Yes.
So you went into the first bedroom, that's where you found the first victim right away?
Yes.
And what was going through your mind when you came across a car seat? Could you tell right away that there was a baby in it? Could you tell that it was a baby and not a doll?
No, actually I saw the handle for the car seat, and because I have a 2-year-old at home, it just triggered with me, and so I took a closer look, and actually at first when I did see that there was a baby in there, it did look like a doll in there, and I had to kind of do a double take, and that's when I realized that we've got patients in here. So I contacted John and just let him know that we have victims in the apartment.
So you grabbed the car seat. It was easier just to take the baby in the car seat.
Right.
And then who'd you hand the car seat off to?
I actually handed the car seat off to John.
At that time, Battalion 3 had taken command of it, assigned me to Sector 2. So as a sector officer, I can't really leave with it, so it just kind of handed it to the next person in line, and then they brought them out. Yep, and I contacted command and let them know that victims.
Gotcha. And then you proceeded back in to do another search. Was it in that same bedroom or same bedroom?
Yes, yeah, there was, I believe it was a 6 or 7 year old girl that was also in there. I found her second, and I started taking her out and handed her off, and then went back in one more time. By then we had another crew member that had come in, and he had found the mother, so I helped him get her out of the apartment.
How long was that whole incident?
Honestly, I don't know. It felt like a long time.
I bet it
Once
did.
we started seeing victims in there, it felt like a long time. I don't know the exact time frame.
What was it like when you got home the next morning and told your wife Stephanie about the fire? Was it a little more emotional knowing that it was a young family that you rescued? What was going through your heads?
Yeah, for me it was definitely tough because, like you said, I had a 2-year-old at the time, and then I had one coming on the way, and just to be in that situation, to see those people, in such a hard situation that it really hit home for me. And once I did find out that 4 out of the 5 survived, it was like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
Oh, I can only imagine.
It's a great feeling.
Would you say that your training and really played the big part in knowing how to get in there and made the difference between?
Absolutely, because the apartment complex where the fire was, it's one of the few 3-story complexes in our area, and so we actually train there frequently. So,
Is that a sprinkler apartment complex? No.
no, it's not.
So interesting. So at least it lets you get in there
We're
and
very familiar.
set up and do everything. Yeah, that's great. Well, that's what this fire school is all about too, is trying to educate, all the young and even experienced firefighters that you can never get enough training, and you need to be prepared in order to make the big saves. And we really appreciate all what both you guys do and what the Phoenix Fire Department does. And I know that family has to be elated, and I hope that they're all have recovered well by now. So thank you so much for coming today and sharing this moment with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Be safe.
All right.